Red Bull and Sergio Perez are currently facing a major dilemma, and it seems their future together is uncertain. The issue? A complex mix of financial and contractual concerns, along with Perez's sponsors, has made it incredibly challenging for the team to meet his demands to terminate his contract early. On top of that, the team's budget cap is about to be strained. With everything at stake, can Red Bull afford to sacrifice points in the Constructors' Championship just to correct their decision to extend Perez's contract prematurely? And what will this mean for their junior drivers? The situation surrounding Perez and Red Bull is quickly becoming one of the most intriguing stories in Formula One. The big question right now, will Perez remain with the team in 2025? As of now, it seems like he may be on his way out, but a lot depends on his relationship with Red Bull and the team's willingness to make a change. It has been reported that Perez wants to see out his contract, but the team's shareholders have already discussed the possibility of moving in a different direction. The main obstacle is financial. Initial reports suggested that Perez wanted around €6 million, but new figures indicate the actual cost of buying him out is closer to €75 million. Sergio Perez recently spoke about the ongoing talks with Red Bull, confirming that the team is having discussions with him about his future. He mentioned that while he's not sure what will happen yet, he does have a contract to race next year. Perez emphasized that unless something changes in the coming days, he'll continue with the team as planned. He explained that both parties are trying to figure out the best way forward, and they will continue these discussions to see if they can reach an agreement. If not, he's ready to honor his contract for the upcoming season. The financial situation has created a tough spot for everyone involved. Nico Rosberg, former F1 champion and current pundit, weighed in on the situation, pointing out how perplexing Perez's performance has been recently. Rosberg noted that Perez has struggled to get anywhere near his teammate Max Verstappen's pace, often being over 6 or 7 tenths behind. This kind of gap is huge in Formula One and has led to widespread rumors that Perez's time at Red Bull might be coming to an end. However, Perez's extensive financial backing, including support from Carlos Slim, complicates matters. Despite the rumors, Perez's future isn't confirmed yet. With a rumored payout of €16 million to leave, Perez isn't going anywhere without getting what he's owed. The issue of money continues to be a significant problem for Red Bull. The potential buyout for Perez could have a massive impact on the team's budget. Instead of using their resources to improve the car and make the most of their wind tunnel time for the 2025 season, Red Bull might end up spending millions to settle Perez's severance. This could force the team to promote younger, less experienced drivers who might make costly mistakes that could damage the car and affect their performance. Red Bull finds itself in an extremely difficult situation, one that no team wants to be in. If they want to keep Perez until 2025, they may have to accept that a top 3 finish in the Constructors' Championship might be the best outcome for them, especially if Perez's current form doesn't improve. Meanwhile, the competition from teams like Ferrari and McLaren is growing stronger, and with Mercedes introducing a new driver, the battle for the top spots could become even fiercer. If Red Bull decides to let Perez go, the financial fallout could be severe. The team would also need to figure out if their junior drivers, like Lawson or Tsunoda, are capable of stepping up and performing at the level needed to compete with Verstappen. The rumored figure of €75 million to release Perez is a serious financial burden, but it might still be a better long-term option if the team wants to make changes. The decision about Perez's future isn't easy for Red Bull, and it's becoming increasingly clear that the financial aspect is weighing heavily on the team. Former Bridgestone engineer Keith Scorer shared his thoughts on the matter, stating that the situation with Perez isn't as straightforward as it seems. According to Scorer, Perez is unlikely to leave anytime soon because he's not willing to give up his contract easily. There are essentially 2 possible outcomes: either Perez stays with the team and fulfills his contract for another year, or he negotiates a massive payout to leave. Scorer also mentioned that the buyout could be as high as €75 million, which would cover the remaining 2 years of Perez's contract. This hefty sum makes it even more difficult for the team to make a decision, especially since they would lose out on sponsorship from Carlos Slim if Perez were to leave. With the financial stakes so high, the shareholders are the ones who will ultimately make the call. This decision can't be left to team principals like Christian Horner or Helmut Marko alone. It's a much bigger issue that requires approval from the top. The stakes are so high that even a small mistake could have huge consequences for Red Bull. If Perez stays, they might face a situation where they can't maximize their potential in 2025. The team would be stuck with a driver who's not performing at the level they need to compete with the likes of Ferrari, McLaren, and Mercedes. If Perez leaves, the financial hit would be significant, but the team might free up the resources they need to push forward in the long run. However, they still don't know if their junior drivers like Lawson or Tsunoda are ready to step up and deliver consistent results. What makes this situation even trickier is the fact that Perez's contract is tied to a major sponsor, Carlos Slim, whose financial backing is critical to Red Bull. If Perez isn't with the team, Slim's money could also disappear, which would create even more pressure on Red Bull's finances. This is why Christian Horner and Helmut Marko have made it clear that the shareholders need to make the final decision. The balance of money, performance, and driver development is delicate, and the decision made now will shape the team's future. Red Bull is in a tough spot, with the financial impact of Perez potentially leaving being a major factor in their decision. If Perez stays, they'll have to manage the pressure of keeping up with the competition while dealing with the consequences of a contract that isn't delivering the results they hoped for. However, if they decide to part ways with him, the team risks a major financial blow, not to mention the uncertainty of whether their junior drivers are ready for the challenge. In the end, it's clear that Perez has a strong position thanks to his sponsors and his contract. While Red Bull would like to move on, they can't afford to take any action that would leave them vulnerable in the coming seasons. The next few weeks will be critical as the team works through its options. Whether they keep Perez or replace him, the outcome will have lasting effects on Red Bull's future performance, driver lineup, and overall strategy. Looking ahead, Red Bull has a lot to consider. Christian Horner has already confirmed that if Perez is replaced, the team's focus would shift to promoting from within. Both Liam Lawson and Yuki Tsunoda are the obvious candidates, though it seems that Lawson is currently the frontrunner, having impressed with his performances during limited outings. Lawson has scored points in a few races, and his connection to Red Bull's academy makes him a valuable asset for the team. On the other hand, Tsunoda has shown promise but lacks the consistency and reliability that Red Bull is looking for, particularly given his ties to Honda, which poses a potential risk for the team's future. As the 2025 season approaches, the team's decision will also affect other aspects of their strategy. If they don't promote Lawson or Tsunoda, they risk losing them to other teams, especially with new entries like Aston Martin looking for competitive drivers. With so much at stake, Red Bull will need to make the right move to keep their momentum going, both on and off the track. What do you think about Red Bull's situation? Do you believe Perez has played his cards well, or has he tied the team up in a tricky spot? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you're interested in the latest drama surrounding the Schumacher family, make sure to check out the video on your screen right now.